Okay to the recording soon. There we go. Give me just a minute to let everything sync up. I hope you're doing well this Monday morning. As we get ready here, let everyone get into the room, get settled. If you're on YouTube, you are always welcome to join us in the live call, which happens through Meetup. You should be able to find my link. Just a minute to let everything sync up. Past Magical Monday manifestations, but you just go to Meetup and search for Tarot Unicorns Coffee and you can join the live call. Me too on the energy. Meh on the energy, said Jillian. All right, so it's not just me. That makes me feel good. Kitty went to help kids carve pumpkins, and I went to a pumpkin patch this weekend with my grandkids for the first time ever. I was trying to remember if I'd ever been to a pumpkin patch before, and I don't think I have. So yay for first time. It was so much fun. Randy went to a pumpkin patch too? Cool. Trying to take a look and see everyone who's here. Welcome, everyone. I see a couple of new to me names, so welcome if this is your first time. Oh, me too on the energy being strange. Okay. All right, so my name is Valorie Lewis. I am the founder of Tarot Unicorns and Coffee and your host for this wonderful Monday morning. We get together every Monday morning for Magical Monday manifestations, where we do a group card pull. I start with tarot cards. I am a tarot reader. I started as a tarot reader. Now I read everything, but I'm a tarot reader. And then we move to oracle cards. And within the cards, of course, Spirit always gets its message through. So sometimes there'll be channeled messages and whatnot coming through. Yes, grandkids, three grandkids, twins. So I kind of cheated. I got ahead with the three. A 10-year-old boy and 2 8-year-old twins, identical twins. So that's what we do for the reading here. It is a group reading, which means I pick up on the energies of the group and I allow Spirit to give whatever messages need to come through for the group. However, I have found in my almost 3 years of doing this that no matter where you are, you will hear the message that is meant for you. So even though it's a group reading, you will get those personal messages if that's what you are seeking. So speaking of which you are, somebody asked me, am I a vampire? Maybe. Don't catch me after dark. You might find out. So as far as speaking of the messages being personal to you, I'm going to take a couple of minutes here at the beginning. I'm going to ask you to take a couple of deep breaths, close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you, do whatever you need to do to just be completely present in this moment. And then gently set your intentions for what you would like to receive from today's card pull. Answers, clarity, guidance. Maybe just general, tell me what I need to know. Whatever it is you're seeking, send those questions out to the universe, those ponderings. All right, and now we're going to switch over and get ourselves into the receiving mode. It can be as simple as just making a statement to the universe. I'm ready to receive whatever is in my highest and best good. Maybe you have something more specific, but whatever it is, just make sure you're switching from asking mode to listening mode as we get ready to pull some cards this morning. Child mother. I was 18. I was 18 when I had my first child. I had her on November 6th, and then I turned 19 on my birthday, which is November 28th. Interestingly enough, 3 generations of us were all at November babies. November is the 11th month, and all of our birthdays are 11 days apart. So my oldest daughter was born on the 6th. 11 days later, on the 17th, is my mother's birthday. 11 days after that, on the 28th, is my birthday. So I always thought that was kind of cool. And we're all firstborn daughters. Well, I'm the only daughter out of my family. She's the only daughter out of hers. But then I went and had 4 daughters, but my firstborn, 6 days. 6 days, 11 days apart in the 11th month. There's got to be something to that numerology. Haven't figured it out yet. 11, 11, 11. Maybe that's it. 11, 11, 11th month, 11 days apart. Anyway, the deck I'm pulling from, let's get into it. Tarot, the deck I'm pulling from is Ghost and Spirits Tarot by Lisa Hunt. I like to pull from this deck in October because it just has a good feel to it. I love October. I love Halloween. I love talking to those on the other side. Thank you for those of y'all who came to my mediumship on Friday the 13th. That was so much fun. I pulled a card from, because I told y'all the energies were kind of weird and funky this morning, I pulled a card for myself. I pulled 2 cards, but one of the cards that came out, I thought I would share with the group just because it's so cool. So take a look. This is the 10 of Pentacles, but take a look at this card. I hope you can see it. It talks, the message in the card talks about spirits animating things in nature and how nature has spirits. And so you see there's little faces in the tree. I like, this one is my favorite tree face because he has a little star tattoo up by his brow. There's faces in the tree, but if you look closely, there's some animals, there's some rocks, there's swirls, and it's making you think the water here, the stream is alive. This one right here, this rock right here, with its eyes closed, kind of frowny, that's me today. I feel like a sleeping rock. I need a nap. That looks like a little salamander sleep. Salamanders represent fire. Anyway, it also talked about how all of the elements of nature, how all of the things in nature pull upon the elements in order to be alive, or whatever they are personifying here. So I just really like this card. Maybe you can find yourself. What are you? How are you feeling today? You feeling like a tree? Maybe you're feeling watery. Maybe you, look, there's a little face in the water. Maybe you feel like you're in the flow and you're sparkling today. But I think we can all find ourselves in this picture. 10 of Pentacles, as far as the message, it wasn't really the message for today. I just wanted to show y'all that picture because I feel like everybody can identify some kind of way in that picture. But 10 of Pentacles as a message is just like, hey, take time to celebrate your accomplishments. It's 10, it's an end. The Pentacles is what have you accomplished? What successes can you make notice of today? So let's go ahead and get into the actual cards for today. Let's shuffle some more. Let me pick up on the energy of this group before I start pulling cards. Questions. I don't feel a lot of questions. There's a few questions, but I feel more asking about guidance and direction from this group. Yep, as soon as I say guidance and direction, then I couldn't get a beat on which card to pull because it was like all the cards were accurate. Ooh, wow. So those who don't know how I shuffle cards, I pull them intuitively. So I will fan them out and spirit will tell me like which card to pull out. And oftentimes when I'm doing that and there's a lot of questions in the group I'm reading for or from the querent I'm reading from, it's like all the cards want to be pulled. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. So let me shuffle again. Ask y'all to focus again, and I'm going to focus again. And we'll see which card is going to be the best beneficial message for this. Now give us a message of encouragement. How about that? Okay, I got my 5 cards. That was interesting, y'all. Lots of questions or lots of something. Y'all need something. I don't know if it's questions necessarily or just guidance, but lots of something. Let me turn my phone off. I apologize. Didn't have it silenced here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got the 5 cards. And turning them over. Oh, interesting. So remember I told you I pulled 2 cards for myself this morning, and then I put the 1 card back because I only wanted to show you this one. The other card I pulled for myself is in the mix. After I did all, y'all heard me shuffling. After I did all of that shuffling, I still pulled the same card that I pulled for myself this morning. So I guess we're all on the same frequency. We all need that card as a message. Just an overall looking at these cards, we have 3 minor arcana and 2 major arcana. Major arcana can be overarching themes that kind of affect all areas of our life. That's how I explain it. But it can also be life lessons or things on our life journey that we need to learn as something to help move our life forward. It's a big picture kind of feeling. And then minor arcana could be like, what are we working on right now? What topics, challenges, opportunities are available to us right now in our day-to-day life going on? And so we start off with the minor arcana, our day-to-day life going on, and we get the Queen of Cups. Queen and King of Cups represent emotional intelligence and emotional stability to me. Cups are emotional cards in the tarot suit, but they also have to do with intuition. Oh, and as soon as I say intuition, I got a strong hint on that. Heightened intuition during this time of the year, seasonally, as we prepare to rest, when we're not so busy with the summer months and things kind of slow down. When things slow down, some of us start to listen more because we have more time to sit and listen. And so it heightens our intuition. So this makes sense that we're getting the Queen of Cups. Queen is also saying, make sure you're in touch with your divine feminine. Divine feminine is that left receiving side. So again, I'm going to go back to just taking more time to listen, receive the messages that are ready and available and coming to you through your intuition. And intuition does not have to mean psychic. Intuition is that feeling in your gut. Intuition is whenever you say, I knew better, but I did it anyway. That's your intuition talking to you. Sometimes we listen, sometimes we don't. So this is a message starting out our week, asking you to listen a little bit more. Makes sense. We got the new moon. Things are shifting. We're kind of, if you sync up with the moon, it's like a clean slate. We're going into okay, what do I want to do during this lunar cycle? Take a pause and listen. Listen to that guidance. Listen to that knowing. Listen to the unconventional. Spirit just said unconventional to me, because sometimes we just keep doing the same thing we've always done. When Spirit is calling for us to do something unconventional, something a little scary, something that doesn't fit in. That's what I'm hearing. Something that doesn't fit into the normal. Incongruent, unconventional, almost just doesn't seem like it goes there, but Spirit is like, yes, it goes there. Just follow it. Just follow it. So listen to your intuition. Queen of Cups. I don't know what ghost she is. Y'all want to know what ghost she is? This deck tells me there's 78 cards. I think there's a bonus card in this deck. I think there's 79 cards in this deck. And each deck has a type of ghost. I just want to see who the Queen of Cups is, because I love my queens. I love the queens of the tarot. Speaking of which, I do a course called Queen Energy, which I'm going to do again soon. I'm thinking probably January. I love the queens of the tarot. They teach so much. What is it? Where is it at? Where are you at? Queen of Cups. This book is so tiny, y'all. It's sometimes hard for me to find it. Groa, Groa. She's a Norse hero. No, the Norse hero summons his dead mother, and the dead mother is Groa. And so the Queen of Cups is Groa. And he's summoning her for advice. So that makes sense. Listening. There's a whole story about her, but basically this son who's missing his mother is summoning her for, it says he is desperate for her wise counsel. So again, that's just telling me we need to listen. The divinatory meaning from this particular deck, this artist says, a loving, protective female presence will help you to connect with your intuitive feelings. She may also assist you in eliminating obstacles that might be hampering you. Ooh, that's a good one. Yes, please help us get those obstacles out of the way. Okay, the next card is Strength. And this is the second card that I pulled for myself this morning when I was trying to get a bead, trying to get a handle on what these energies were all about. Strength, card number 8. I love the Strength card. But I love this illustration. Look at that. I already read this earlier this morning for myself, so I'm just going to tell you what it's about. It's about tuning into your inner strength. And this inner strength, once she tunes into it, is what like really brings her alive. You can see it radiating out of her heart center. And I believe if she continues to tune in to that inner strength, it'll be like amping up that light, and that light will go out and will connect her to the world around her, will connect her with other people who see her strength, and will connect her with the universe who mirrors that strength back to her. Connect her with everything, but in a way that upholds her strength. She'll make new connections from a place of strength. So strength as being a major arcana, and the second card in our draw today is a reminder that we all need to tap back into that inner strength. And maybe we can do that by sitting and listening more. Challenges and opportunities. Why does that word keep coming to me? Anyway, inner strength. I feel like something else is going to be said about our strength, but I'm going to move on because that message will probably come up in Oracle cards or maybe in some of the other tarot cards. But here we go, the King of Cups. So I glanced down to see if there were major arcana, but I didn't really pay attention to what the minor arcana was. So it's interesting that we have Queen of Cups, then Strength, then King of Cups in that layout. The paired court cards of the Cups card. So we already talked about the Queen receiving, and then we have Strength, tapping into our inner strength. And then we have the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is the one that takes those messages and grounds them in the real world, brings them into action, does something with those messages. The King, divine feminine, divine masculine, have to work together. They have to work together. It's not the Queen's job. Sometimes it is, but it's generally not the Queen's job to get out and do the things. It's the Queen's job to receive the intuition, to connect with the emotions. And it's the King's job to do the things. But if the King does the things and he's not listening to the intuition, not good, not good. If the Queen has the intuition and she's not passing those messages on, not good. So they have to both work together. And that's within yourself. Your divine feminine has to receive the messages, receive the intuition, and your masculine has to act on those messages, not the messages that you want to make up, because that's when we get off into the weeds. But the messages that are received through our intuition are the messages that we should be acting on, our inspired actions. King of Cups. Let me see what ghost is represented by the King of Cups, because he looks very interesting. Let me just hold that up to you again. Hold that up for you again. Ghost of Hamlet. Ah, okay. This is the ghost of King Hamlet. Blah, blah, blah. A bunch of stuff I'm not going to read. The jagged cracks in the floor reveal deceit, but the ghost light, see how the light is covering over some of those cracks, ensures justice. The divinatory meaning: a fatherly figure provides some insight into feelings you may be harboring, perhaps a sign of a guilty conscience. He reminds you to exercise compassion, self-compassion, compassion towards self. The signs of a guilty guilt can hold us back so much. Let it go. Let it go. You know what I found in my journey? I don't know about y'all, but in my journey, the things I'm guilty about are because now I know better. But when I tell myself, now I know better, but back then when I did the shit I was doing, I didn't know better. I was doing the best I could do from the time I could do it. That helps me lighten some of the guilt. I still have trouble, not trouble. I don't have trouble. I still have guilt that I work through on a daily basis as part of my shadow work that I work through. But that's what helps me. That's what reminds me, because I have to stop looking through it through the lens of, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I knew better than that. No, I didn't. I didn't know better. Not at the time. So that maybe that'll help you work through some guilt. Just remind yourself, have self-compassion for yourself. In the most cases, you were doing the best you could with what you had available. Now, if perchance you were just being an asshole in the moment, then you just need to forgive yourself for being an asshole too. Maybe you weren't doing the best you could do. And maybe that was just your path, but you still learned something. You're still in a position today that you can look back on that moment and learn something from it. So just give yourself compassion. The past is the past. Let go of that guilt. What do we have up next is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a self-imposed prison, among other things. So maybe it's the guilt, the message about guilt from the King of Cups. And anything else we might be holding on to. Shame, regret, doubt, fear is a big one. A self-imposed prison, because those swords in traditional RWS or Rider-Waite-Smith and a lot of tarot cards that are based off RWS, the Eight of Swords are depicted in a circle around the being. And here we can see 8 swords floating around this ghost. But almost always those swords are easily dismissed. There's usually a blindfold on the person, or the person's head is down, or they're not looking at the swords, but they're just, oh, they're swords, and so I'm trapped. But had they take the blindfold off, or if they had looked at the swords around them, they would see, oh, I can just stand up and walk between the swords. I can get out of this, or I can just push those swords over. They're not really stuck in anything substantial. They're just kind of in soggy ground in most depictions. And here we see they're just floating in the air. He's a ghost. It looks like those swords are ghost-like too. If he wanted to, he could probably just walk right through them. Self-imposed prisons. 8 of Swords. And swords are all about our thinking mind. What thoughts are creating scenarios that likely only exist in our head that are keeping us from moving forward or keeping us from living the life we want to live? It's all in your head. No, it's not, Valorie. I really did experience this. I really did have that person tell me I can't do this or I can't do that. I'm gonna challenge that, because I'm gonna say you still created your own life, so you could create something different anytime you want. If you created a world where you have people telling you no and you feel like you can't do what you want to do, just sit back for a minute and say, well, I created this world of no's. I think I want to create a world with a little bit more yeses. So even when you're in a situation where you're like, nope, Valorie, absolutely. I asked my boss for a raise the other day and they said no. And you can't tell me that I imposed myself in this prison. Yeah, you did, because you created that job. Amazing job. You're an awesome manifester. You created that boss. Awesome work. You're an awesome manifester. You created that situation where that boss said no to you. Awesome work. You're awesome. No, I didn't, Valorie. I can't control other people's actions. Maybe, but yes, you can. Yes, you can, because you can put yourself in situations where you are surrounded by more yeses. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get too deep into it. But once you take responsibility for the world you created, or for the situations you put yourself in, or for the connections you make, then you have so much more what? Power, inner strength. So if you're in a situation and you don't like the way the situation is, stop telling yourself you have no control over it. Tell yourself, I don't care what the situation is. I'm a powerful manifester. I'm going to make a better situation. I'm going to create more yeses. I'm going to create a situation where I can see the gaps between the situation I'm currently in, and I can choose to walk out of those, walk between those swords, remove those restrictions, and put myself in a better situation. All right. And then we're going to end with the major arcana, the High Priestess. Woo-hoo, I love her energy. The High Priestess is considered our spiritual mother, if you know the Fool's Journey. She's the second person we visit after the Magician, being our spiritual father. Again, Divine Feminine. We opened with Divine Feminine being the Queen of Cups, listening to our intuition, and we end with Divine Feminine, the High Priestess, who is a master of all of her intuitive and psychic skills. In the tarot, she sits in front of the veil. You can consider that veil to be whatever you want it to be, the thin veil between the conscious and the subconscious, the thin veil between the here and the afterlife, whatever you want that veil to mean. The veil means many things to many people. She sits behind it and she knows all the secrets, and she can easily pass from in front of the veil to behind the veil. In fact, for her, the veil usually doesn't exist. It only exists for the people who approach her and they see it. But the high priestess, amazing, amazing, full of magic, full of intuition, full of knowledge, full of access to infinite knowledge. Some say that she holds the Akashic records in her lap, that scroll. Some say that that's a scroll of Akashic record. Like, she knows it all. She's a baddie. She's a baddie. The high priestess is asking you, as you take in the messages of the tarot spread for this week, the high priestess is saying those messages that you received at the beginning of the week when you were listening, when you were being more quiet, more still, now it's time to use them to really create your magic, to really manifest your life. High priestess. I am going to go to the book because I do want to see what ghost is representing the high priestess according to this author. The high priestess is the enchantress Sibyl, S-I-B-Y-L, the most famous oracle of Greek Roman legend. The Sibyl of Cumae, Italy, guided Aeneas, A-E-N-E-U-S, through the land of the dead and enabled him to return to the living. The Sibyl interweaves the energies of past lives and future events. She illuminates the scene where dreamlike specters mingle with relics of the past. A pathway provides a passage to clarity and higher understanding. The sparkles indicate a divine presence. The divinatory meaning: listen to your inner voice and allow intuition to be your compass as you continue along your path. This is a card about accessing and utilizing one's inner wisdom. Oh, I like that. Inner wisdom, inner strength, turn within, listen. If I had to sum up all 5 of these cards, where we have Queen of Cups, Strength, King of Cups, 8 of Swords, and the High Priestess, I would say the vibe I'm getting is listen. Take some time, pause, and listen. And as far as that 8 of Cups, 8 of Swords being in the mix, it's be very discerning about what messages you allow to inspire you. Are those messages the restrictive messages that you've always been listening to, that are telling you you can't, that are telling you not now, that are creating that self-imposed restrictions? Or are they the expansive messages like the you would expect the high priestess to embody and to listen to? So listen, and then be discerning about which messages you allow to inspire you on your path forward. So that is the tarot cards. Over in the chat, we said both ends of the pool, Groa, G-R-A-R, which was the Queen of Cups, and Sibyl, the last one we pulled, which was the High Priestess, are seers and wise women. Yes, yes. Interesting. I'm gonna do some more research on Groa. She just, intrigued me. I love this deck, y'all. If y'all wanna know, I highly recommend this deck just because it gives the story of each entity or type of ghost. Some of them are types of ghosts, and some of them are, let me think of a type of ghost that's depicted in this book. I don't know. A banshee. I remember that one. Banshee is a type of ghost. And so they talk about what that is. They talk about spirits too, that are not just ghosts, and they give like a backstory for each type, and then they give the divinatory meaning. So I really like that book, or as an educational thing, telling me about the different types of ghosts and spirit. And the next cards we're going to are going to be oracle cards, and this is my Voices of the Soul oracle. Keeping with the spooky theme. I don't know if I've ever shown y'all the back of these cards. I like it because it's got the phases of the moon, and it's got some Egyptian eyes on the hands there. Symbols of the elements. Anyway, Voices of the Soul gives you a card, whatever the message of the card is, but it speaks to you from 3 different perspectives. The first perspective being as if your soul is speaking to you about the subject. The second one is as if your spirit guides are speaking to you about the subject. And the last one is as if an entity or the entity is speaking to you about the subject. And the entity is someone who you knew in physical form who has now crossed over to the other side. So today's cards, right in line with the Eight of Swords, fears, 20, card number 20. 20, which reduces to 2 in numerology. 2s are about choices. So I think we're being asked to make better choices regarding our fears, to let go of some of those fears. Let's see what the card is. Card number 20. I'm sure I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this part. 20. Okay, so this is your soul talking to you about fears. Part of your energy is frozen in fear, which can interfere with our connection. But fear is not to be fled from. Fear is a positive when it comes as a warning. Part of you feels in danger. I invite you to understand why. Why do you feel talking to me, your soul? Why do you feel talking to me endangers you? Why are you afraid of being in touch with yourself or listening to yourself? All the counsel and messages I have for you are positive. They are here to help you move forward serenely, but maybe you don't want them quite yet. Do not try to run from this fear. Pay attention to its warning. You will open your eyes to important things and move forward in a new way. Okay, and this is your spirit guide speaking to you on this topic. It's like part of your energy froze 2 years ago. Maybe it was related to an event, situation, or relationship. Since then, a kind of fear has taken root. It has become your guide, and it is hindering your progress. Today, come to understand the meaning of past events and take a new path. By being in a new inner energy, you will create outer change. You may feel the pace is very slow, but it's up to you to set a new pace. Everything is within your reach. You can do this. And then this is the entity. So think of someone who's crossed over, who's now in spirit, who's giving you this message about fear. You may feel afraid to contact me. You may feel afraid of the messages you'll receive. You may feel afraid of what you're feeling. This contact isn't negative, and I can't cross the boundaries you set for yourself regarding your psychic ability. I am not the only one trying to contact you, but part of you limits communication. I understand and I respect your pace. I invite you to understand the source of your fear. Fear was something I knew during my incarnation. I was often afraid and my soul was frozen for a long time. I missed many opportunities. I am not afraid of you and I want to pass on some important messages to you. You need to discover new things inside you. You have a real thirst for discovery. I can feel it. Free yourself from fear so the energy of love may take its place. Contact will then be simple and fluid. I will manifest my presence through colors. In the signs you'll receive, a color will be dominant. The color will always be the same. The color will be me. It will be my sign to prove that my soul is truly by your side. I feel like that's a really timely message for anyone who might be trying to connect with loved ones who have crossed over, trying to connect on their own. See if any of this resonates with you. Is there something that you're afraid to receive in the messages or something you're unsure of? Just listen to the message of this card. I feel like it kind of hits home, and it kind of hits home with me too as well. Free yourself from fear so the energy of love may take its place, and then contact will be simple and fluid. And then the part about colors, just see what colors you notice as you move through the day, and consider that as a sign from this entity or ancestors in general, just saying, yep, we're here, we see you. All right, so that was Voices of the Soul. How y'all feeling? How are these messages going? You feeling like your questions are getting answered? You're pondering, getting new clarity. Awesome. Got a yes over there in the chat. All right. This is not necessarily a oracle deck because it has no guidebook, but it are more like affirmation cards. The universe has your back. Spirit, give us a message about letting us know how we are supported by the universe. I'm getting 2 cards. I am kind and loving towards others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. Kind and loving, but having clear boundaries. Who needs to work on their boundaries? Okay. There is a stream of love supporting my dreams. That's a message. That's a message for you from the universe. The universe is saying, I got your back. I got your back. I am sending love as an energy that will charge and support all of your dreams. Let's see. I want to go to Isis. I haven't pulled from Isis for a while. Feeling some Egyptian-y vibes. Isis Oracle is Alana Fairchild deck. I love Alana Fairchild decks. Haven't found one yet that I don't like. I've got 3. I think I have 3 of her decks. Okay, what messages do we have from the Oracle of Isis? These cards are stiff because I haven't. They're all sticking together. All sticking together, just making it hard for me to draw. What messages do you have for us about our path forward? So, I got 2 cards, and I don't think I've ever pulled either one of these cards before. The first card gave me a this is what you need to work on vibe, and the second card gave me a bright, light energy type of vibe. So the first one is, interestingly enough, they seem opposite in meaning. But the first one, and this is the one that gave me a this is what you need to work on card, is Divine Sunchild. Blessings of the Sun Falcon. Divine Sunchild. I believe these are alphabetical. Divine Sunchild. Blessings of the Sun Falcon. So I'll read the little italicized part. Blessings of the Sun Falcon, the Divine Sunchild, Horus, son of Isis and Osiris, flow to you now. It is time to allow your life to flourish without limits, to let your light burn bright and without veil, like the midsummer sun burning without contest in the Egyptian desert. Blessings of the Sun Falcon herald the time when your divine legacy is being born. It is your time to burn bright. Yes. Okay, so it gives the whole backstory of the Divine Sunchild, Isis and Osiris, and this Sun Falcon. I'm not going to read the whole backstory, but this chapter makes sense. It says, finally, as our divine feminine and masculine unite within our bodies. Remember how we pulled the Queen of Cups and then also the King of Cups, divine feminine and masculine? And now we have a oracle card talking about uniting those 2 energies. So those 2 energies unite within our bodies. A new golden consciousness is born. This is the Sunchild Horus, with the eye that is the moon and an eye that is the sun, representing the perfect balance of masculine and feminine in harmony with each other. The Divine Sunchild is the new self, filled with love, light, and power in the world. It is the authentic self, living the inner truths in the outer world, an agent of healing on this planet, and inspiration for others to be bold, brave, and vivid enough to walk their own path to eventually receive these same blessings. Ooh, I really like that. Living their inner truths in the outer world. That reminds me of that strength card with the energy coming out of her heart center, connecting with all those branches to the outer world. Let me see if there's anything else. To allow these sacred blessings to empower your creative birth now, in many ways, you are guided to let go of thoughts or feelings that it is impossible or too hard or cannot be done. Isn't that the Eight of Swords message? Let go of those self-imposed thoughts that tell us we can't. Honoring the need to create as part of your natural life expression is a way for you to receive these blessings. You are born to shine like the sun. You just are, and there is no question that it will not happen. Let's see. The oracle of the sun falcon can also indicate a new life and life-changing opportunity on its way to you. When your heart sings, say yes. Do not give up until you have your success. The sun will shine on to you. You will succeed. When your heart sings, say yes. That reminds me of that first message that I got where Spirit was like, that when you sit and listen, it might feel like what was the word Spirit used? Incongruent, unconventional. It might feel like an unconventional message coming through, but if it's making you feel something, go with it, even if your brain can't figure out how that fits in. And then the other card I pulled from this deck is, I'm gonna butcher this word, cartouche. Divine names of power. That sounds like some ritual work. Divine names of power. Look at that card. It definitely looks like an altar to me. Let's see what the divinatory meaning of this one is. Lady Isis initiates you now into her special mysteries, the use of sacred intonations. The words that you speak are rapidly gaining power. To benefit from this power, rather than being undermined or held back by it, practice thoughtful speech and clear your heart of old unforgiveness, which can poison your words unintentionally. As your heart grows in purity, you will be able to speak with spiritual authority, and what you speak of will come into being more swiftly and obviously. Isis is initiating you as a master healer in her sacred tradition of divine names of power. So what I read to y'all was just this italicized version right here. You can see how long the description on these are, which is why I love this book. It's great to pull like a card for the day from this and really sit with the messages. That's just the divinatory meaning that I showed you. And then it goes into rituals that you can do. And then it ends with the incantation. So it's a really in-depth book, and the incantation goes on over to the next page. So 4 pages for one card on that one. But the main meaning there is your words have power, names of power, using your words more consciously, calling in what you want to call in. There's a lot to that one. There's a lot to that one. I might start doing extended versions, like, so I can read the whole card, so y'all can like tune in and get the whole card when you want that added benefit or added message posted. I don't know where I would post it, probably on YouTube. That sounds like something I would love to do, but my neurodivergent brain will be like, why did you tell the people you were going to do that? Where do I want to go next? I think I want to do numerology. But do I want to go to angel numbers? I'm just going to do the numerology. I have a numerology deck, and then I have an angel numbers book, but they give the same message. So let's go to the numerology deck. Is there a number that you can show us throughout our week that will show us of your presence and give us a message of encouragement? 46, domestic harmony. Be looking for number 46 this week as a sign of the divine's presence in your life. But let's see what 46 means. Domestic harmony. This card indicates a time of healing your relationships and your home. This may relate to a troubled relationship with a child, family member, ex, or current partner, house guest, or roommate. It could even relate to problems you have had with the actual house itself. Either way, this card has been sent to advise you that your difficulties are being resolved and domestic happiness is within your reach. This card can indicate a time to make a commitment to your present relationship by declaring your love and desire to take things to the next level. It can also reveal a need to commit to your present residence by extending your lease, deciding not to sell, or making the necessary improvements to turn it into your perfect home. Regardless, this card is encouraging you to make a commitment rather than walk away. Interesting. In order to improve your current situation, you are being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycles of your life, cycles that are leading you towards domestic harmony and peace. Remember, there is no such thing as the perfect relationship, family, or home. Domestic harmony can only be achieved with effort, compassion, and compromise. By improving your relationship and your home, you will improve your quality of life. And the affirmation says, I have happy, harmonious relationships with my happy, harmonious home. All right, I'm just gonna leave that card. I'm just gonna let that card speak for itself. I really don't have anything to add to that. Dragons. Do we need a message from the dragons? We need a message from Lemuria. Excuse me. And we might be able to get a message from the dragons in as well. That was my souls jumping off the bookshelf. Voices of Soul. Oh, excuse me. Okay, next card we're going to go to is Beyond Lemuria. I want to let you know as I shuffle this deck, we have some cool events coming up. We have our Wednesday morning meditation, which is always a joy. And it's a free event on Wednesday morning. I hope some of you join us for meditation. Lasts about 45 minutes. We have energy healing on Thursday, where I channel energies, send them out to the group. Energy work, DNA help. And then this weekend, I'm super excited about this weekend. On Saturday, I'm doing an event with Elizabeth Berkley. It's called Two Witchy Women Explain Why Witchcraft Isn't Wicked. And so it's me and her talking about witchcraft through the ages and how we incorporate witchcraft and what kind of witch we are and what kind of witch are you. And it's just a fun little event where we get together and talk about all things witchy. And Elizabeth is going to be doing a reading for a participant in the group. It's going to be a lot of fun. She's got witches runes and she's got decks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you join us on Saturday. That's another free event. Check it out on Meetup. Here we go. From Beyond Lemuria, what message do we need? And it's water. The overflow. Look at that individual. Let me just hold that up for a minute before I go to the meeting. All right. The keywords are abundance, non-attachment, the paradigm of no scarcity, allowing financial and energetic gifts to flow through and create more. And those are the keywords, the meaning itself. So this author sometimes speaks as how they receive the message of the card, and that's what they're doing here. During one of my most pivotal Lemurian visions, I was guided into a life where I lived in a humble mud hut. As I could create any thought in the multiple dimensions that I had access to, I simultaneously resided in a beautiful crystalline palace. I found myself in a paradigm where I could create anything at will, and thus there was no concept of scarcity nor the need to hold on to anything. This experience initiated a shift that changed my life. We may only be starting to touch on this notion in our mundane reality. When we give more from a place of overflow than obligation, even when we think we have nothing, having it come from this mindset can only create a more abundant flow of what we want. The being in this picture has many hands, and yet still the water is allowed to fall through her fingers. It blesses her in the moment it touches her radiant skin and then continues on its journey. Her heart is also overflowing with love. Her eyes are filled with tears. She allows what comes through to move her without control. She gracefully allows whatever she is feeling to be expressed. And as she does so, she radiates so much light into the world. The themes of this card are for you to think about for this week: allowing for flow, receptivity, the path of least resistance, purity, clearing away that which no longer serves, and emotion. Of course, we have water. When we started out with the Queen and King of Cups, which are water, so that makes sense. Spirit is telling us to get more in touch with our emotions, focus on our emotional intelligence, let our intuition guide us, all things related to water. So maybe see what ways, just in general, overall, what ways can you incorporate the element of water into your life or spiritual practice this week? I think it'll benefit you, since we had so much water come up in our reading. I had a dream of my coffee pot overflowing a week ago and had to look that up. It was about abundance and overflowing emotions and coffee. Not that you asked, but I would say if you're having dreams about overflowing coffee and not just like overflowing water or overflowing orange juice, that it's also about a swiftness, because coffee is about speeding things up, adding a bit of quickness, a bit of energetic impulse into your life. So I would say whatever is about to come, hold on to your bonnet and tidy up those knickers, because it might blow your socks off. All right, I'm going to Dragon Path to what wrap things up with, and it's Destiny. Isn't that a gorgeous dragon? Ring of Fire. Hey, it's got an eclipse. Look at that. I didn't even plan that, y'all. Destiny. 15. 2, 15. Come on. I'm not real good at Roman numbers. There we go, Destiny. Destiny is a mighty dragon of great authority. She has no time for fluffiness, ego, or human dramas. She and her kind have been hidden in the depths of the earth for eons, waiting for us to be ready to take back our power and stand in our individual and collective might. She wants to galvanize us into action so that we stand strong against adversity and, if necessary, fly in the face of authority to challenge systems that are no longer fit for purpose. She says, if you want change, you need to be that change, not wait for others to do it for you. You do not need their permission to live your life your way, nor can they absolve you from your responsibility. It is your life, your journey, your path. You walk it your way. Light, this is still her speaking. Light and fluffy will not create lasting changes on your planet. Have you ever tried moving a large square, flat bottom stone uphill? It is impossible. As humans, you need to come together and work in union, not isolation. Take responsibility for who you are. Hold the vision of what you wish to create and work together with others. And that's end quote. And then finally on this card, it says, we are facing periods of change and at times adversity. We, as people of Earth, can only achieve a more secure future if we come together and work for the good of all. We can be the change. The time for division has passed. It is time for us to unite, collaborate, and work in unison. What a beautiful message to end with. Thank you, Dragon Destiny. All right. Well, that's what I have for you this week. I hope these messages have inspired you, have enlightened your path a little, given you some guidance, answered some questions for you. I encourage you, if anything feels a little bit still unanswered, to go back to that Queen of Cups, the very first card we pulled, and sit in meditation and just let your intuition, let your guidance come to you as you listen more, let your week slow down just a little bit, carve some time out to listen more. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope I see you at some of the other events that I mentioned this week. I hope you have a wonderful week. And remember, you are in charge of your life, manifested the way you want it to be. All right.